Hey. What's going on? What's going on? Mic check, mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Anybody in here? Anybody in here? What's going on, Rodney? Uh, this game. Jesus Christ. This is the inconsistency that I was talking about this Dallas Cowboy team. What's going on, Boomer Sooner? What Floyd? Yo, this is what I was talking about with the inconsistency with this team. You go on a 5-win streak and then you drop a goose egg like that. The Cowboys have not been shut out in a game since 2003. That was the year I graduated high school. That was a long time ago. One thing that I always said about the Dallas Cowboys, we've had up and down seasons, but we've never been shut out in a game. You go and do that. It's hard to defend when other players of other teams and other fans say that we choke all the time. It's like it's what we did today. The whole team played like crap. The defense didn't play well. The offense didn't come play. The only person that really played is Ezekiel Elliott, but one person cannot win a game for you. What's going on, Grady? I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Considering the situation. What up, Brian? I'm not going to say the team sucks. They suck today. They don't suck every day. They suck today. This team has – the thing that frustrates me about this team is because we have the talent on this team to do great things, but we tend to fall flat when we shouldn't. And now, granted, you don't necessarily need this game to get to the playoffs, but it definitely helped because if you would have clinched today, you wouldn't have to worry about Tampa Bay nor the Giants. It's almost like procrastinating on your homework. You do your homework. It's like if you do it right away and you get it done, you don't have to worry about doing it later. Now they got to do the work later. We had some injuries in the game too as well. Suafilo injured himself early in the game. I think it was on the block kick. He injured his eye. I don't know what happened with his eye, but they rushed him to the hospital. So that's serious. I know all you guys gonna come in here and say that Dak sucks, Dak's this, Dak. Dak played a terrible game. Dak did not play his best football, but I'm not gonna say that. This is the thing about the situation. I want to see what Dak does with a better play caller and a better quarterbacks coach because Kellen Moore is not cutting it. Linehan is not cutting it as his coach. As a quarterback, unless you're Tony Romo or somebody that's been in the league forever, you're really only as good as the person calling the plays. And if your play calling is crap, and like I said, we keep going through this. We'll have a game where Linehan will do something different, and all of a sudden we go back to the crap. And this is the crap that I'm talking about. You're on what is it? Fourth and 3 when we went for it. Yes, you go for it there, but the problem is the play calling on that play. You had so many different things that you could have done right there. But you throw it to Cole Beasley on a slant route up the middle with a big linebacker directly in front of you when Dak could have easily dumped it off to Zeke. Dak has to work on his vision, and I don't know if it's him not stepping up in the pocket. I think it's Linehan telling him not to move around, because if you notice before, Dak was moving around, he was moving forward, he was moving left to right, but it's all of a sudden this game, it's like you see that he's been just stagnant. He's got open lanes in front of him to step up, and he's not doing it. Yeah, I know all you guys are going to say that he's hot trash. It is what it is. But I'm telling you right now, if they fire Linehan and they get a better offensive coordinator, and did you see Dak doing better, don't say that I didn't tell you. Now, if Dak sucked, Dak would not have the wins that he's had in the first 3 years of his career. Dak would not have won those games in the fourth quarter if he sucked. You got to look at things like this. You got to look at it from a football standpoint. Don't just say he sucks. Give me what your opinion is on how he sucks. Show me proof that he sucks. Yes, he's had some bad games. Every goddamn quarterback had bad games. Look at Jared Goff. Look what Jared Goff did last week. He threw, I think, 3 picks, and I had him in my fantasy. He gave me -1 point. So to say that the quarterback sucks, you gotta come harder than that and be a little bit more valid with it. Because again, if you say he sucks, then you could say that Tom Brady sucks. Then you could say that goddamn Kirk Cousins sucks. It's a lot of players and quarterbacks in this league that have not been doing great. It's called playing against a team that outthinks you and outmaneuvers you when it comes to play calling. Again, yes, fire Linehan. I've been saying that for the longest time. Now, I said that whether or not we made the playoffs or not, or whether or not we went to the Super Bowl or not, even if we made it to the Super Bowl, I would have said cut Linehan. Because at the end of the day, it's inconsistencies, and you can't win like that. And Dak wasn't the only one that was bad today. Remember, the whole team played like crap. The defense was missing tackles. The cornerbacks wasn't on their man. Yeah, Cowboy X Factor. You cannot point the finger at one person. It's not all on Dak. Well, I can talk all day about what Dak did wrong, and I'll agree with you on what Dak did wrong. But I'm not going to say that Dak sucks because Dak has proven that he can play in this league. Hence the 5-win streak that we had. Because if he sucked, we wouldn't win any games. I'm not salty. Hey, Holmes. Hey, Nugent. Hey, why are you here? Why are you here? I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you come in here, if you come on my channel doing the stuff that you do on Mark's channel, disrespecting me, I'm gonna exit you out. So watch what you say. All right. That's what I'm gonna tell you right now. Matt Eberflus, Scotland. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. Matt Eberflus was with this team as the linebackers coach. He knows our team very well. That plays a big factor in this. Matt Eberflus is a product of Rod Marinelli, but the difference with him is he knows how to put pressure on the quarterback. And you already know our offensive line is not the greatest right now. We're crippled because we have a lot of injuries. They know that they have the capability and the players on their defense to apply pressure. You apply that pressure, Dak has nowhere to go, and he's going to get sacked. And that's basically what they did. He basically played the game how he knew the Cowboys. To get more consistent. And like I said, terrible performance all around. It's not just Dak Prescott. And those of you that, and I understand, and I'm not taking anything away from you guys that saying Dak sucked. That's your opinion. And sometimes he does suck. But again, he is our quarterback, and that's who we have right now. Who else you gonna get? I mean, outside of Kaepernick, who else are you gonna get that's gonna be better than Dak right now? I mean, and I don't want to hear anybody saying anything about his backups right now because neither one of his backups are going to play better than him because they are in this offensive scheme with Scott Linehan. It's going to be the same thing. So look at it like this. You guys remember when we had Brandon Weeden on this team? You remember when we had Matt Castle? We've had other quarterbacks come from outside. They couldn't bust a damn grape nor win a game. Dak has won games more than he's lost games in his 3 years with this team, with a trash offensive coach, with Kellen Moore, that's a quarterback coach to him, that's not even a better football player than him. And it's not a fluke that he did well when Mark Sanchez was here talking in his ear, helping him out on the sideline. Think about it, y'all. I'm just trying to open your mind to a bigger picture. Yes, we did. We looked like shit today. We looked terrible. How about playing the red zone? Rico Bembrado. And that's this thing, Antoine. I don't understand with Rico. It's like they scheme Rico to just block. They don't want him to catch any balls for whatever reason. When you're in the red zone, you give it to a big body individual. When we had Dez Bryant, that's what we did. The back shoulder fade was a staple to Dallas Cowboys when Dez Bryant was here. You have a guy with Rico. I don't know if you don't trust him. Why did you put him on a team? that was just a waste of a roster spot if you're not going to use it. And Brian, I'll be honest with you, you'd be a deer in the headlight too if you are running around and your offensive line is not blocking. Did you not see when Redmond came in the game for CeeLo Filo when he got rushed to the hospital? He was like a revolving door. It was like the defensive line was pushing right through him to get to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott would take a 3-step drop, and they're right there on him. But again, what Dak needs to do better, when stuff like that happens, he has to step up in the pocket. I don't know why he's not stepping up in the pocket. I don't know if Linehan is telling him not to step up in the pocket. And if he is doing that, that's the problem. Yeah, I think that everybody right now will say that Scott Linehan has to go. I mean, it's way beyond time. You see what happened when we got rid of Paul Alexander. The offensive line got back to what they were doing. Yes, they're not playing all that great, but that's because of the injuries. With the offensive line, it works like one cohesive unit. When you keep moving pieces and things of that nature, it throws the whole offensive line off. And then, of course, the ref is not going to give us anything because they're going to call penalties over and over again. I mean, you might as well call us the Dallas Flag Boys because it's been flags and penalties all day, every day. And Aaron, it's funny that you said that you thought he couldn't block. We all thought he couldn't block, but now they're using him primarily to block. That's what they're doing. It's like all of a sudden, like, oh, well, Rico can block now. That's how they're looking at him now. So since you're a big guy and we can put you in a way and you're actually doing good at that, we'll make you do that, and we'll just throw the ball to Jarwin and Schultz. But again, they need to give him some opportunities too. You can't prove to a team that you're worth anything if you're not given the opportunity, period. Yes, we do need an offensive lineman in the draft. Unfortunately, we don't have a first-round pick this year. I don't know. Maybe the Cowboys might make some moves, shuffle some things around and try to get their first-round pick back. Who knows what happened in the offseason, but that's talk for the offseason. What you think happened to the fullback having alligator arms catching? Yeah, I don't understand that one, Gary. With Jameis Olawale not catching that touchdown pass because, again, and if you guys seen my video that I did in the offseason on him, talking about him, he literally has the ability. He can catch out the backfield. He can run the ball. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if he didn't realize that he was supposed to get the ball on that play. I don't know what it is because that's the first time I've actually seen them actually throw him the ball. That was the first. So I don't know what the thought process was on that one. You said you'll take Zach in a wheelchair. Then Redmond. I agree with you on that one. Redmond, I don't know. Maybe because Redmond hasn't had any time with this offensive line, like playing. I don't know what the deal was with that, but he's definitely not nowhere as good as. And this is the reason why we paid for these guys, these offensive linemen, before Frederick got injured, before he had his syndrome. You know, we had these guys, and it's funny how things could change overnight. You get an injury here, something happens to this player, and all of a sudden, that's why depth is important. You have to make sure that your backups are capable of coming in. Yes, they don't have to be as good as the starters, but they have to be capable of holding down the fort until your starters come back. Blue draft 5 online in the draft. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, I've never seen nobody do that before. Jerry Progress was no deep. I'll be honest with you. We definitely need to get we can get an offensive lineman maybe in the second or third round, and then we could get one in like a later round, like a fifth or sixth, for depth. Or you could get an undrafted guy. Look how we found Ron Leary. We found Ron Leary off of the undrafted train, when he came from Memphis, and look how much of a solid starter he became with us. So, I mean, you never know. This Cowboys are good at getting those diamonds in the rough. Law, what up, Law Nation? Yes, it was a tough game, and Law is right. We definitely will rebound from this. We will definitely come back from this. It wasn't a dire need for us to win, But at the same time, you don't want to lose like that, because if you're going to be a playoff team, you cannot come in any game playing like that. But I'm not totally down on this, because I look at it like this. We just got to shape up next week for Tampa Bay. We play them at home. We get that out the way, we clinch the division. If the Eagles lose tonight, that would be a help. The Redskins winning didn't help us none, because now they're on a game behind us. But now you got to do your homework. You got to get out there and you got to win. You got to win these 2 games. You got to get that out the way and get ready for the playoffs. And you got to play. Oh, thanks for the super chat, Antoine. What's up with that? Pocket presence clown. Yeah, and see, and I don't know if you were on when I said that, but I basically was saying that the thing with Scott Linehan is this. I don't know if it's him telling Dak not to step up, because we've seen Dak move around when he needed to before on his own. But I believe that you can watch Dak play. You can tell when he's doing something that somebody's telling him to do rather than something that he does instinctively. Because instinctively, he's going to move forward. He's going to move around. And I think that Linehan's like, I don't need you getting hurt. I need you to, and I'm pretty sure that's what the conversation was. I need you to stay healthy for playoffs. I need you to not get injured. So because of that, I want you to try to stay in the pocket. Well, Dak's not a pocket passer. He's a mobile quarterback. He needs to move around. He needs that space. That's how he gets up in the pocket. They will snap back. What's going on, Thomas Price? Yeah, and again, you do not want to get embarrassed on national television like that. You never want to see your team get a donut like that. I mean, again, like I said, I bragged about this team. I said, well, at least we've never been blown out since 2003, and we get it this year. Yeah, well, as far as Barry Church, just remember, on the weekends, they don't normally do transactions. We had an away game, so you can't really sign a player when you're not in the building. So it's almost like it's not a business day. So Monday starts the business day. So if they do anything with Barry Church, it'll most likely be tomorrow. So if we hear anything, I'll do a video on it. Prevent zone defense entire day. And see, you play zone defense when it's necessary. And what I do like about what Chris Richard has been doing, we've been playing man up. We've been playing closer to the guys, and our DBs, the way that they play, they're more press man. They play more press man than anything. So, running zone is we do that in certain packages. But obviously, it didn't work, because when you play like that with Andrew Luck, he just has the ability to get his guys open. Him and T.Y. Hilton have that chemistry. And if you can see it in the game, like when he throws him the ball, T.Y. is exactly where he wants him to be. They have that chemistry. You can see that. That also one of the things we want to make it to the NFC Championship. Yeah, and see, that's the thing, Rudy. You want to get to that chip. We have not had an NFC Championship game, I think, since like 90, like the late 90s. So you look at it like this. It's been a long time since we've won an NFC Championship. And to do that, the thing about it is, and the thing that frustrates me is we can do that this year, because everything around us is aligning for us to do that. There are a couple of teams that are in your way, but one of them you beat, the Saints. A lot of these teams don't really scare me, because some of the things that Dallas are good at, they can counteract that. But Dallas has to come in and play their game. But if Linehan is going to keep doing this shit, it's not gonna be beneficial to us at all. It's not going to work out. We got blown out last year and different. Okay, no, blown out is different from a donut. I'm talking about scoring 0 points. The last time we didn't score any points was in 2003. Yes, we've been blown out before, but we haven't been shut out like that. We haven't been shut out since 2003. That's what I was saying. Still need somebody to get open. And Cole was out there trying, man, and I look at it like this. The whole purpose of Cooper being on this team right now is to open things up for other realms of the team. It definitely opened it up for Zeke, but the problem is I'm not understanding why we're not utilizing those underneath routes, those slot plays with Cole Beasley, because if you're running those things right, and he should be open a lot more times than not, because he's a smaller, shiftier guy. But then again, that really depends on what team you're playing, because with a team like the Colts, they have big linebackers and mobile linebackers like we do. And that's what Eberflus likes. That's why he had that when he was here. So because Eberflus knows exactly how our defense plays, he was able to counteract that. And I think a lot of that has to do with him knowing these guys on this team. Did you see Beasley give up on that play today? What play are you talking about that Beasley gave up? I don't recall him giving up on a play. Yeah, so and wait, what? Old porn star, huge fans, so disgusting. Yes, I think I can speak for every one of you guys right now with the disgust that we have right now. It is definitely an embarrassing loss. You never want to lose like that, especially this late in the season, and seeing what's riding for us. And again, I said this many times before, y'all. The Cowboys control their own destiny, and if you just drop a goose egg like that, it's almost like you're just losing focus. If you look at that five-game win streak that we have, those were all emotional wins. Those were wins where we were counted out, things of that nature. Yes, we were also counted out on this game, but I don't the severity of this game wasn't as high as the other games. So I feel like the team kind of got full of themselves a little bit. I feel like D-Law got full of himself a little bit when he made that comment about the rookie offensive lineman for the Indianapolis Colts, Quentin Nelson. And the other guys on there, when he was like, when the reporter asked him, "Oh, you're going against this guy?" Oh, and he basically said in a nutshell that it's the same shit I see every week. So, when you say stuff like that, you definitely have to back it up. But you got to be humble sometimes too, because you got to go in these games and again, their offensive line was stout. You got to give them credit on that. Their offensive line was stout. They held up. They blocked the hell. They blocked to hell for Andrew Luck, and they were basically shielding our guys off the whole time, y'all. Yes, play calling in the. Oh, hey, what's going on, Sheila? Yes, play calling in the red zone is definitely suspect. You get to the red zone and you still don't run the ball. Linehan said himself, "Oh, well, it depends on the look that we get." A lot of times when we spread it out, because I've said this all the time, if you spread it out and you get all of that muck out of there, and you just run Zeke up in there, you can get the touchdown right there, especially 5 yards out. Or you can do some type of RPO right there, and or play fake and get Dak on a run. Dak hasn't scored a touchdown himself in a couple of weeks, and you look at it like that. When Dak starts scoring, we're going to win that game because he's feeling himself. And I feel like that Linehan is not letting Dak be himself. If you watch these games, you can tell that Dak is not comfortable. And if you get Dak comfortable, he's going to play his game. And I think that's why he hasn't run the ball himself, because of the simple fact that Linehan doesn't want him to right now. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Tyron Smith seems to have lost a step. Tyron Smith he's dealing with a lot of back injuries right now, and his ankle. He's just ailing. When you're playing football day in, day out, it's like getting into a car accident every week. If you have anything that's wrong with you, you literally only have a few days out of the week to rest. That is if you don't practice, but you're still practicing. And the more and more you play on that, the worse the injury is going to get. It's not going to get help. It's not going to help until either you get it rested in the off season or if you need surgery on it. And those are the things that unfortunately, that's football, y'all. These guys that's why they get paid the big bucks, because they literally put their lives and body on the line for our entertainment. And that's just what it is. Can't believe J.J. Watt ended up playing the full season by a lot of Colts fans. I've got a Colts fan in here. Again, congratulations to you guys for the win. You guys kicked our ass, and that's hey. Ain't nothing I can say about that. Here just needs to. This is the first game this season I've seen this defense literally drop a goose egg like this. We've seen games where the defense hasn't played as well, and that's because the offense wasn't doing their job, and the defense was on the field a long time, and they were fatigued. And, when you're fatigued, again, the team is going to score on you because you're fatigued and they're ready to go. But if you limit the time that your defense is on the field, it helps them out. Now, we've had some possession time in this game, but the problem is, for whatever reason, the defense wasn't holding up. Now, I know their offense was playing well, but I didn't know that their offensive line was that good. I mean, they were literally, I think we got to Andrew Luck like 2 times in this game. You said Cole Beasley was crying to make the play. I don't know about that. I don't know if you've been hit in the face with a ball, but that shit hurts. Sheila, I feel you. Yes, I'm disappointed too. I'm not really super mad. The fact that I'm mad, the only thing that I can say that I'm mad about right now is the fact that Linehan is just garbage. I just want to see him and talk to him. I want to get in the room by myself with Linehan, and I just want to interview him, and I want to ask him some quality football questions. I want to get into the X's and O's with this guy. And I'm just like, what the hell is your mindset? And with some of the things that you're doing, why are you being conservative? Why do you have a quarterback that's young, that's big, that can move? You have a dynamic running back. You have big tight ends that can actually catch the ball. It's not Jason Witten, but they're capable enough to get the job done. You have all of this at your disposal, and you're not using it because there's other teams right now with less doing more. Why? Because they have coordinators that give a damn about the team. I don't know if you realize this, but if y'all saw Amari Cooper on the sideline, and me and Michael Anthony Fitness was talking about this today, he was sitting on the sideline, and they weren't having him in certain packages. And I feel like Linehan was because I think Amari Cooper said something about him. He said the play calling was trash. In so many words, that's what he was saying. And I guess Linehan was like, oh, I'm going to show you. I'm going to sit you on the bench. This is not time for you feeling bad about yourself because somebody said something bad. Because he's right. Now, Amari Cooper probably shouldn't have said that, but I can't fault him for saying it because it is what it is. Because it's true. The play calling is trash. And even Alan Hearn said it when he came on his team. So you know that it's Linehan. You know it's Linehan. The freaking players are saying it themselves, y'all. I'm just trying to tell y'all it's more than what we see. There's a lot of things going on in the background that we don't see day to day. And a few of us YouTubers, we do have some people on the inside that like we talk to sometimes that tell us, hey, this is actually what's really going on. And again, sometimes even if you're not that, you can still see what's going on without if you pay attention enough, you can kind of see the body language and see exactly what's going on. And like I said, E2 Blue, me, I'm not gonna lead y'all to no BS. That's just not what I'm gonna do. If I tell you guys something, if I'm unsure about it, I say I don't know. But if I'm telling you something straight for a fact, I'm not lying to you because I have no reason to front for anybody. Like he's tired of running the same 2 routes. Exactly. And Cooper is tired of running the same thing. And again, you have Amari Cooper on this team now. There's so many things that you could do to open this offense up. And I feel like we're just doing the same thing. We're doing these dump offs. We're just so predictable. Defenses don't even have to do much. They're like, oh, here we go. Cowboys gonna run this. Cowboys gonna go that. And it's so many times I'm sitting on the couch with Mark and them, and I'm just watching the play, and I can see exactly what's about to happen. And at the end of the day, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. Exactly, Cowboys, boom. Because our coaches do not make adjustments. They haven't. They haven't done it. I don't know a time where And even when they do make adjustments, it's still within. See, what Jason Garrett does is he comes into a game with a specific game plan. He has, depending on how the game goes, he has some alternate things that he'll shift. But outside of that, he's not going to scrap it if it's not works and then go over here to something that you know that's going to work, which you should be doing, and which what being a coach does, able to readjust yourself to win a game. Because again, winning a freaking Super Bowl, when you get to that game, that regular play calling that you do goes out of the window. You call special plays for the Super Bowl. Look at what the Eagles did last season when they won the Super Bowl. How did they beat the Patriots? Well, every one of their running backs scored. They used their tight ends. Everybody was working as one cohesive unit. Everybody did their damn job. The defense held it down. The offense did their thing. Hell, Foles even had a touchdown pass thrown to him by his own running back. So, or was it a tight end? It was somebody on the offense that threw him the ball. But again, they were being smart. They were doing trick plays. They were doing things that they don't normally do. And when you want to win the big game, you have to step outside the box. And having a coach that's conservative, that's a Princeton graduate, you are not going to get that because he is conservative. And that is the problem that we have. Now, I have more of an issue with Linehan than I do Garrett, because with Garrett, at least he has a philosophy that the team is listening to. Now, the thing with Garrett is this. Garrett is a coach every day of the week outside of the game. At the game, all he does is manages, I guess, the timeouts, the challenges, things of that nature. He lets his coordinators run the team during the game. He doesn't deal with that. As the coach, he makes his coordinators work for their money. That's their job to do. Technically, that's how a football team is supposed to be run. But a lot of teams don't do that. But because of the way that we do it, when you have incompetent coordinators like Linehan, you can't put it all in his hands because he's not going to be able to get you to the promised land. And with a young guy like Dak, that's a 4th-round pick, a guy that was just thrown into the fire, a guy that is still learning how to play football at the NFL level, you need coaches on your staff that are competent enough to make sure that he is doing what he is supposed to do, that he has the tools that he needs, and help him with his mechanics. I don't see nobody talking to Dak on the sideline. Kellen Moore can't do it because Kellen Moore can't even go out there and do it. He's 5'10" and left-handed. Well, I guess left-handed ain't got nothing to do with it. But what I'm saying is he's not better than Dak Prescott. That's almost like you're going to work, but your child is telling you how to do your job. Now, does that make sense? Hell no, it don't. Again, when I say these things, I'm trying to give it to you from a broader perspective. Linehan need to get. Hey, Diego, Linehan don't need to get it together. He need to get the hell out because he's not going to get it together because he's incapable of doing such. Now, I want to go back to when Linehan was with the Lions. He was doing some things with them. As I recall, when they had Megatron, he was doing better things there than he did here. I don't know what happened between that transition, but maybe he's always been like that. Maybe it's just that Stafford just doesn't listen to him and does his own thing. But Dak can't do that yet because Dak is still a young guy. He can't just be like, forget these plays. I'm going to do what I want to do. He can't do that yet. How can I still be wearing a Cowboys jersey? Embarrassing because I'm a Cowboy fan. Are you not a Cowboy fan? Do you understand that win, lose, or draw, still a Cowboy fan? I question your fandom for you even asking me an asinine-ass question like that. Are you a fan? Because you're going to always wear a jersey. Look at the Browns. The Browns just started winning. The Browns ain't won a game before that since 2014. So before the season. And their fans are still there. They're still rooting for them. You root for your team. If you are a fan of your team, you are there for that. You are down with your team. You don't just jump ship because they fucking lost one game. Are you serious? Come on, man. I can't believe you just asked that. Yeah, hey, Manster, I did see that when they were wearing the hard hats and stuff like that. I look at it like this. You can't get full of yourself until you get to the big game. Now, I'm okay with them doing that if you get an NFC championship, but right now it's grind time. You don't have time for all that showboating and doing all that stuff right now. I'm all for the team having fun and doing their thing, but let's stay humble because there's work that still needs to be done. And until that work is done, you better get your butt out there and you better fix it and you got to get it right. Because if somehow we lose in the first round of playoffs, you already know people gonna get fired left and right. And we'll see what happens this week too, because there might be some changes go down this week. Yep, and we have to re-up the winning streak. You got to start it over. LVE, he still played a decent game. I think he had like 8 or 9 tackles or whatever. But again, the team is just it's embarrassing. The team just did not play as a cohesive unit. That is not my Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what the hell that was on the field today. Yes, Diego. And I said the same thing when we were at the restaurant today. Dak could have gotten a quarterback sneak right there. I don't know what the hell they had him passing for. He definitely could have. You have a big quarterback. They're not going to see you doing that because we don't do that very often. There's ways to get to teams, but you just have to be smart about it. I'm not saying that you got to be exotic with what you're doing, but we're not even playing fundamentally. We're just going out there just playing backyard ball. You can't do that. It's just like all the fundamentals went out the window, and I don't know what's going on with that. Can Dallas win next week? We can definitely win next week, and I'm gonna tell you why. The Tampa Bay they're like number 1, number 2 in offensive production, like overall, as far as yards per game. But that don't mean a damn thing if you're turning the ball over every 5 seconds, if you're not getting into the end zone. And they haven't been ever since that debacle with Fitzmagic and Winston being benched and them going back and forth. They, as of late, they haven't been as dynamic. It's like the magic faded away. But if our defense plays stout, we can definitely get some turnovers on this team. So, and I know that what's his name, Deshaun Jackson has been a Cowboy killer for years when he was with the Eagles, but he's with Tampa Bay now, so it's a different dynamic. But if our defense plays well next week, we can definitely stop that ball and get these turnovers. Hey, Hone Nugent. You said I want all the smoke. Hey, bro, let me tell you something. As long as you in here being polite, that's all I got to say. Because I know how you roll. Because I know that you was being disrespectful on Mark's channel. And I'm just telling you right now, you don't want the smoke. For real. Cowboys allergic to success. Flus out-coach Marinelli and Rashard. Yes, Ibra Flus did out-coach us. And it's funny because if you saw the beginning of the game, they had the camera focus on Jerry and Steven and Rob Marinelli talking to Ibra Flus on the sideline, like chopping it up, like, hey, what's going on? Ibra Flus was thinking in his head, like, I'm about to go out here and whoop your ass, bro. So I just look at it like that, and I'm like, it is what it is. I'm still riding for my Dallas Cowboys, and I want you guys that's in here now, whoever's a real Dallas Cowboy fan, be ride or die for your team. Because at the end of the day, y'all, we're fans of this team. And if you're a true fan of your team, you have to stick with it. Don't all of a sudden come back when the Cowboys start winning again. We just came off a 5-win streak. Some of you guys jumping off of the bandwagon like we lost every game this season. Like, that's ridiculous. And me being an individual that's played football before, that knows a lot about football, on this channel, I try to speak to you guys in a way that, those of you that don't know that much, educate you a little bit, try to teach you a little something, and bring a different perspective of the game that you can understand. And that's the whole purpose of us. When you're watching ESPN and you're watching First Take and all these guys are getting paid to just talk bullshit. They're talking about stuff that doesn't make sense. Now, some of the stuff may be valid, but a lot of stuff is not even their opinion. Some of these guys can't even like what they're saying, or some of the guys don't are paid to say certain things but don't really feel that way. With me, you're gonna get an honest opinion all the time, and that's just what it is. Yes, Byron. Yes, yes, yes. And I think that everybody agrees with me when it comes to that Linehan stuff. Dallas has no player development. When you look at Dak Prescott, you look at players that we have not been able to develop anything. When we had Martellus Bennett, all the tight ends that we had behind Jason Witten, now, I know that Jason Witten had a lot to do with that because he didn't allow other players to progress. But as a team, the talent that we had on this team that we lost, that are now doing well with other teams, you look at why couldn't they do that here? Because I guarantee you, if Rico Gathers goes to another team and he starts doing something, we're going to be sitting here like, why the hell did we not do anything with him? So it is what it is. No. See, Dak's not going to choke like you say Tony Romo did. Dak plays hard. Dak does what he can do. Dak is trying. And the fact that I love Dak's leadership quality more than his football ability. I love the fact that of his attitude. He does not give up. And that came from his mom. Rest in peace to his mother. But when his mom was living, before she had cancer, she instilled in Dak at a young age on how to be a leader, on how to be a winner, on basically how to be poised and conduct yourself in society. And I have to commend him for that. Despite of everything that's going on, he's not going to point fingers. He's going to take all of that, even though it's not always warranted. I appreciate that, Stephen. Now, we may not get the third seed, but you can't say that we're not going to make the playoffs because as long as we keep as long as we win these next two games, we should be okay. You said zero diversity in the play calling. Elliott runs, screen to Elliott. Yeah, and it's funny because I was late coming to see the game because I was driving there, but I was looking at the CBS Sports app, and I'm sitting there looking at the app, and I'm like, I keep saying Zeke for 4 yards, Zeke for 11, a pass to Zeke, out to the left to Zeke, and I'm like, well, damn, is anybody else on the offense doing anything? Right, Corby, you're right about that. How you gonna pass on 4-1, 4th-and-1, and you got a running back that can run that thing in there, or you could have quarterback sneaked it. I mean, we could talk about that all day. Yes, and Joy, you're right. All we need to do is win one more game. That's it. Yeah, and it's going to be a cloud of hatred, but guess what? Only the real Cowboys fans are going to stand up, and they are going to still be standing when the storm passes in the rubble. The real fans will still be sturdy and stay. That's what it's about, and that's who I'm speaking to. I really don't care about the ones that are just being phony and just here for whatever, because those are the people that don't matter because they're in and out. They're going to go to this team, and when that team start losing, they're going to go to this team. And I'm not with that because to me that's just phony. Like, stick with what you like and stick with that. Stick with it, because I'll be honest with you. As much as we've had a lot of turmoil with the Dallas Cowboy fans, I wouldn't rather be a fan of any other team. I look at it like this: I love the fan base, especially the ones that I have here. You know what I mean? Like, we have a lot of great fans here in the Washington D.C. area, and I mean we have multiple fan clubs. I mean, it's crazy. In my opinion, I think there's more Cowboy fans in the DMV than there is Redskin fans, and that's ridiculous. Cowboy haters come out like crazy. It ain't easy being a Cowboy fan when we got Tampa Bay. Yes, John, and I agree. And you basically saying the same things that I was saying. The haters gonna hate. Yes, for the people that call it Dak Prescott trash, who are you comparing him to? Exactly. Um, because when analysts talk about Dak Prescott, they're putting him in the same category as first round picks like Wentz and Goff and Pat Mahomes. Like they're putting them in higher draft picks conversations when they talk about Dak. And when they talk about his struggles, they're still comparing him to their guy. You look at Wentz, his numbers are very similar to Carson Wentz. So for those of you that say that Wentz is so much better than Dak, well, they're two different type of quarterbacks, to be honest with you. And with Wentz's injuries, he can't run like he did before. Now, for whatever reason, Linehan has stopped Dak from being mobile, but that's the problem. You're going to lose. If Dak cannot be him, you're going to lose. You said Terrence Williams needs to come back. I don't know if they're going to keep Williams because his contract is up after this year. So I don't know if they're going to re-sign him. Yeah, of course they have no coaching advantage because the coaches suck. Our defensive coaches are good. I'll bet our defensive coaches on any other coach in the league, but our offensive guys, not so much. But again, your offense is the one that's scoring touchdowns for the most part. So you need to have that balance. And right now, we don't have a balance, and that is the issue. And I'll probably stick on with you guys to about 7:50, 8 o'clock, because I know that Mark is going to be live streaming the game. So, yeah. Hold on. Some people and I have to figure out what happened to Suofilo because they said that he had an eye injury. I hope that his eye is okay because I don't know what that means. Like they rushed him to the hospital, so obviously something bad happened. I don't know if he got poked in his eye, somebody stepped on. I don't know what happened to him, but hopefully we'll hear something back. Hey, Gary, you said David Irvin and Tavon. See, Tavon will be – I don't know what's up with David Irvin, and it's really frustrating. I feel like he's not football focused. It's almost like he doesn't care about football. But the problems that he's having off field with the baby mama drama and the care of his daughter, well, if you play the game and make the money, you can get child care. So I don't know what the issue is with that. Now, I can't really speak on it because I don't know. But from what I hear, if that's the case, you got to get out there and play with your team because now your teammates are losing faith in you. They don't even care anymore. They're just like, oh, he'll come when he comes. But you can see the fact that Tavon Austin is – you can feel that we miss Tavon because, again, his return ability, the fact that we use him on his jet sweeps and things of that nature, it puts a different wrinkle on the offense having Tavon Austin out there. But not having him there is a problem because we get stagnant and can't do anything. And then the defense knows exactly what we're doing, and it gets really ridiculous. Team we have one or two. Exactly. You would think that we would be hated because we win, but because the Cowboys haven't, and they always say, "Oh, the Cowboys suck. We ain't won a Super Bowl since '95." Blah 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 blah. Okay, so why are we still the talk of the town? Everybody, other teams and other fans keep saying, "Oh, why are we called America's team?" This is why we're called America's team because we're talked about all the time. Have you ever been watching a Monday night game that the Cowboys was not playing in? And you hear a commentator say something about the Dallas Cowboys. They always bring the team up in any situation, whether it's a former player that's playing with that team or if it's a play call that something that the Cowboys are famous for doing, whatever the situation is, the Cowboys' name always comes up in the conversation. I just think that's hilarious. Wentz has the same stats with 3 less games played. Yeah, see, Wentz, yes, has less games because he's been injured, but his yardage is still more than Dak's because of the simple fact that he throws the ball deeper than more than Dak, and they have, and I can argue that they have more weapons on their receiving core than we did, especially before Amari Cooper. Now that we have Amari Cooper, you could kind of contest that a little bit. But again, their coordinators know how to play their players. We have a tendency to not be able to do that. And that's the irritating part about it. Hopefully this wakes us up. Yeah, and Manster, and I was just talking about that. Like, I feel like that we them losing and getting their ass kicked like that, these players are gonna be like, oh, well, let me get off of my hard horse right now. I have to get back and stay focused. They know what's riding on this. What's up, Coco? And my dog came in. They know what's riding on this. And you look at it like this. Sometimes you got to get your ass whooped to come back and stay focused. It happens. Here's the thing. Stats don't matter in the game if you lose. Now, you can fill up the stat board. Look at Tampa Bay. We just talked about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay fills up the stat sheet. Then you look at the box score. You look at the score, and you're like, how the hell did they lose? You had 559 yards or something. One game, they had like 559 yards of offense. And their running backs was over like 100 yards. And then they scored less than 20 points and lost the game. And I'm like, how are you doing that? Because they're going up and down the field, but not getting into the end zone. And this is what I fear for the Dallas Cowboys, because we have trouble when we get to the red zone. Just do the right thing. Get into the end zone. Like, it's not rocket science. Linehan's been a coach how many years in this league? And you haven't figured that out yet? I know that you're watching film because you're supposed to. What are you not looking at? How are you not seeing what's here? I am Joe Schmo, the average fan. If I can see this, how the hell can you not see this? I'm not a defensive coordinator. I'm not an offensive coordinator, nor have I never been a coach for an NFL team. But I see what's there. I see the writing on the wall. If you're not seeing this, how are you not opening your eyes to what's going on and seeing what the bigger picture is? That's what I'm saying. Timmy, I'm a Saints fan, but y'all will shake back. Yeah, I like Dallas too. Oh yeah, shout out to Timmy, man, the Saints fan. Good shit, bro. I look at it like this. I've always had respect for your New Orleans Saints. You guys are a great team. I'm actually shocked that we beat you guys. There are some of your Saint fans were coming in here after that game and was like, oh, you guys cheated and this and that. And we ain't cheating for nobody, because the refs don't like the Dallas Cowboys, and everybody knows that. So because of that reason, it's already hard enough trying to – it's like you're playing against the other team and the refs. How many penalties – if y'all know, somebody give me something right now. How many penalties was in this game? How many penalties was in this game? It seems like every other play, there was a flag being thrown. And I'm like, God, I feel like the line judge was just standing there watching the Cowboys offensive line like this. He was sitting there like this, throwing flags every 2 seconds for anything. Some of those you look at is controversial, because when you're offensive lineman, your hands are supposed to stay inside of the defensive guy. But the tricky thing about playing an offensive line position, when that defensive player turns, all of a sudden your hands are on the outside. But it's up to the ref to call it or not, because you can tell whether he is holding or if the defensive guy just shifted his body sideways and the guy wraps his arm around. To me, long as you don't wrap your arm around him like you're giving him a bear hug, then it shouldn't be called. But again, it's the Dallas Cowboys, and they're going to do that. What's going on, Dante? He said you hope. And see, this is the thing. I feel like Linehan's like, and that's why they haven't played Tavon, because I feel like Tavon's ready to go. I feel like they're trying to save him for the playoffs. God, put him in the game right now. Let's win these games. Like, do y'all not want to win? Do you not want to win? Because I'm going to tell you right now, this is some of the craziest things that I've seen in Cowboys history. Just you're watching it, and we were sitting at the bar at the restaurant today, and you could just sit here and you could tell watching the Cowboy game, you're either gonna get a heart attack, you're gonna get a stroke, you're gonna get high blood pressure. Something gonna happen to you health wise. And I ain't trying to get high blood pressure, but watching these games, that's why when y'all see me sometimes, I just be like, I'll be quiet because I'm not trying to raise my blood pressure. I'm not trying, like it's annoying. And my boy Rivas, Hater Rivas, yo, he talks all the time like, oh, I'm about to go get another beer, bro. It makes you want to drink a whole 18-pack of beer by yourself. They'll make you lose your mind. I mean, it is so hard being a Dallas Cowboy fan. So those of you that are true Dallas Cowboy fans as well, salute to y'all. Roger that Asher, what's going on, man? Yeah, and you're right, John. Cowboy fans don't disappear. Win, lose, or draw, I'm still here, and I'm still going to talk, and I'm still going to be about my team all day, every day. I'm going to talk about it. This YouTube channel will not shut down. It will be here live and ready to go every single day. You're going to see this ugly face all the time. It is what it is. And you're going to like it. Swear to God, you will. Joey, I feel you about that with Zeke getting injured. Now, the way that they're using him right now, and I know that he is the bulk of your offense right now, but you got Rod Smith there. You gotta mix it up, because if you don't mix it up, the problem is, like you said, Zeke's gonna get injured, and you're not gonna have him for the playoffs. We've had 2 scares already with Ezekiel Elliott this season, and you don't want that. You want to make sure this guy's fresh for the playoffs. Byron Linehan is a horrible situation. He's a horrible play caller, period. It's like you'll watch games and he'll be like, oh, I'm going to do this drive and I'm just going to be a genius one time. And then the next drive, you're like, what was that? I know you're sitting there watching the game. You're like, what? Why did we call that? 4th and 1 and you throw the ball. What the hell? Yeah, Dana. Yeah, I see that too. I see that too, Dana. Jarwin sure isn't sure-handed like 82. Guitar slinging zombie killer. What up, bro? Hey, nobody's like Jason Witten right now on this team. And that's the thing. And I've said this before. We have been spoiled with having Jason Witten as a tight end on this team, because at the end of the day, that is a future Hall of Famer. You get spoiled when you have a guy that's day in, day out producing. Even though he wasn't fast, he still was relentless. He got the ball, and there was nothing they can do about it. We don't have those type of tight ends. Now, Jarwin and Schultz, they're not bad. They're trying. They're still learning. They're young guys in this league. I don't think they'll ever be Jason Witten, but if we develop these guys the way that we should, they should be capable enough to play for the Dallas Cowboys and be successful for the Dallas Cowboys. Because it doesn't matter what they do on other teams. If you're on the Dallas Cowboys, long as they're playing to the success of this team. Yeah, and then when we had Martellus Bennett, you knew that he was going to be a player. You saw that, but we were not able to, for whatever reason. Well, because of Jason Witten, obviously, they didn't utilize him. They didn't. He goes to other teams and he plays well. Now he's out of the league. But Joe Buck is spewing nonsense. You're right about that. That's why I'm ignoring. And again, it's not the whole coaching staff right now that's just ridiculous. It's more so I want to see them make the right moves. I want to see them before they even touch Jason Garrett. I want to see them get rid of Linehan. Bring a collegiate level um, offensive coordinator that can work with a mobile quarterback like Dak, and let me see what Dak does with him. If Dak still struggles, then okay. Then you haters that don't like Dak, then I have to agree with you. But I'm not giving up on Dak because I know that he could do better because I've seen it. I've seen him play better in college. I've seen him when he's comfortable and he's on his A game, he's doing the right thing. He's a game manager. That's what Tom Brady was when he first started playing. That's what Aaron Rodgers was when he first started playing. And they grew into the mastermind quarterbacks that they are right now. That stuff takes time, y'all. It's not going to happen in just a couple of seasons. You got to get there. You look at Pat Mahomes and how well he's doing. Well, that offense is different over there. That coordinator is different over there. They can fundamentally play to his strengths. Dallas Cowboys are not doing that. You talking about Kareem Hunt? I don't think anybody's going to sign Kareem Hunt this year. That's not going to happen. Because even if you did sign Kareem Hunt, he's still going to have to do a suspension. And there's only 2 games left, so there's no point in doing it. Oh, yeah, the Rams better win tonight. I'm going to be the biggest Ram fan tonight because I need them to beat the Eagles. Because you need the Eagles to lose because the Redskins won, and now they're a game behind you. And all of a sudden, you got a team that lost their quarterback that won a game. Woo! They won a game, and they lost 2 quarterbacks. Whoa. If we lose Dak, we're probably going to lose every game. So I'm just, again, it's all about how you manage your team. And we can't do that. Yes, Ronaldo, they are wasting Rico Gathers. They are wasting his talent. I do like the young tight ends. I agree with you. I like these young tight ends. I think that, excuse me, I think that over time and with more experience, because again, they were finally given the opportunity to showcase what they can do. You can't see where a player is if you don't give them the opportunity. Now, all of a sudden, we're starting to use our tight ends more. You're starting to see them catch the ball. I think that after this season, into next season, another training camp under their belt, I think that our offense is going to get progressively better, but it starts with the change of the coordinator. Because what we're doing right now is handicapping this offense. It's handicapping Zeke. It's handicapping Dak. It's handicapping this offensive line. It's handicapping these damn tight ends. And because of that, we are not able to sustain things. And that's why you get this team that's up and down. Yes, Mark. Our tight ends are definitely capable. Linehan is garbage. Yes. And the cockroaches are going to come. The haters are going to come. So I will say that it is what it is. They're going to be here. But I'm like I said, I'm ride and die for my Dallas Cowboys, and I will root for them all the time. Now, when they lose and then when they lose bad, oh yeah, I'm gonna reprimand them for that, and I'm gonna call them out on the stuff that they're doing wrong because again, that's what you do. It's called family. It's called tough love. Cowboys is a family, just like with your family. If your cousins or your brother or your sister or your auntie, uncle, somebody in your family that's close to you that's messing up, ain't you gonna check them? That's what you do. But it's all in love because you're trying to make them better. Now, as far as paying Dak, I know a lot of you say that, hey, we shouldn't give Dak no money. But again, when his contract is up, they're going to have to pay him something. Now, I don't agree with giving him $80 million a year, but if they give him something like a middle of the road I will say something like a 4-year, $45 million deal, I'm cool with that. Because you look at something like that, that's about a middle of a road type of um, middle of the pack type of pay, and it matches what his production is. And I think that if he gets better than that, then the team can readjust his contract and do what they want to do later. But I think that it's imperative that they sign him to a contract similar to that. Like I said, 4 or 5 years, 45 million with 18 million guaranteed, something like that. That's what I would do. And I understand, guys, this game puts a lot of salt in the wounds. This game is going to make you feel some type of way, because it definitely makes me feel some type of way right now. But at the end of the day, it's not a total loss. Again, we technically didn't need this game to get to the playoffs, nor did we need this game technically to win the division. It's just like I said earlier. You do your homework first, then you can go outside and play. The Cowboys decided to go out and play today and not do their homework. So now they got to go back and do their homework the next day. Just to put it in that perspective, that's what's happening right now. So now that they have to do their due diligence next week and win next week to clinch this division. Now, if the Redskins and the Eagles, if the Redskins would have lost today and with the Eagles, and if they lost too, we would have clinched automatically today. But because the Redskins won, that put a fork in the road for us. So we kind of just have to just roll with the punches. And this is a perfect example of what I was telling you guys before. You have to do your due diligence. You have to do your thing. You cannot rely on any other team to do it for you. You got to do it yourself. You got to win. You got to handle your business with the team that you're playing against. Period. And the Colts played desperate because they needed this win to even make it to the playoffs, period. So with that put them in a good position in their AFC standings to do something. Fillmore, you said getting blown out by the Colts has you worried. I feel you on that, but I'm going to tell you why I'm not worried. I'm not worried because I feel like this was a coming to life moment for these players. Sometimes you got to get your ass kicked to realize, to bring you back down to earth. Remember, they won a 5-game winning streak. Their mentality, everything, their confidence was super high. This loss brought them back to reality and brought them back to like, damn, I should have focused. So now that they can refocus, now they can go kick some butt. That's all I'm saying. Just look at it like that. And we better not lose to the Bucks. Yeah, the coaches did wet the bed. Coaches wet the bed. The players wet the bed. Everybody is to fault for this game. It ain't just the coaching staff. The player execution was horrible. The refs at fault because they call the penalties on some crap. What was that one where what DB was that? Was that Anthony Brown? No, it was Heath. They tried to say that Heath had was holding, but when you look at where the flag was, Heath didn't even touch him. I said, "What? It was a P. Are you calling on a ghost?" Because the dude did. First of all, the receiver did a hell of a job flopping on that play because nobody touched him. But it is what it is. Hey, let me ask you a question. Joe Buck, whoever you are you even a Cowboy fan? Because you've been saying a lot of weird things in this stream today. Oh my God. Oh, Joe Buck is an Eagle fan? Okay. All right. Oh, he's a salty Eagle fan. Okay, I see what it is. Well, it is what it is. I look at it like this. If the Eagles lose tonight, if the Eagles lose tonight, only thing that it means to us is that they don't have another win, and it pushes them out of playoff contention. It would have meant for us if the Redskins would have lost as well. Say if today the Redskins lost and the Eagles lost, we would have automatically won a division today, even though we lost. But because the Redskins won, they basically halted everything. So no matter what the Eagles do, we still have to win the next game to get the division to clinch it. Dana, oh, you say he's a kid? Okay, well we're gonna ignore that then. I figured it was because by the way he was talking, like it didn't sound like he was making any sense. So I guess that makes sense. Rams going mad. I hope the Rams go mad tonight for two reasons. Because I need them to beat the Eagles, and I got Jared Goff in my fantasy, and I'm in playoffs right now, and I'm trying to win this fantasy football league because I was 11-2 before the playoffs. So if you stop Zeke, it's up. Well, thank God people are not really stopping Zeke. They're containing him sometimes, but they're not completely stopping him because they still got to look out for Amari Cooper. So because of the simple fact that we have that aspect of the team, when you have somebody else to fear, it opens it up for other things. So you can't just shut down one thing because something else will go off. Shout out to Brazil, big Cowboy country. Oh yeah, shout out to South Brazil. Shout out to Brazil. I need to go to Brazil. I need to go to Rio de Janeiro. I heard it's beautiful beaches. One day though. All right, Joe Buck, I hear you. Yeah, this whole team has to learn from this game, basically. You got to learn from this game. You got to learn. You got to move forward. And you have to make sure that the next game, because in life, anytime you get embarrassed or something happens that is an embarrassment to you, you're going to try to fix that and be like, look, I don't ever want that situation to happen again. So I'm going to fix whatever happened that made that situation happen. And I'm going to be a better individual. What up, E2? Love your channel, man. Play call. I appreciate you, man. Play calls the first half was good. We just didn't execute. Yeah, and again, player execution was a lot in this game too. We let the team down in general just by not executing, and the play and the penalties being called didn't help either. So, what you think about hiring Oklahoma coach as our head coach? I like the Oklahoma coach. You talking about Lincoln Riley? If you're talking about Lincoln, I like Lincoln Riley. I want him as a coordinator right now. I want him to take Linehan's job first. Before you even do anything with Garrett, I want to see him take Linehan's spot, see what he does in that offensive coordinator position, and hopefully at some point he could transition and take Garrett's job. That's how I look at it. Yeah, the wall of Dallas it ain't that it fell. It's just it's broken up. It got shot up a little bit. It's on injured reserve. The wall will come back eventually, but right now, again, this is what happens when you. This is the NFL. Injuries are inevitable. It happens. There's nothing you can do about that. You just have to work your way around that and just figure out what it is that you can do. You have to provide depth. You have to have players that can come in and spell these guys, because if you don't have depth, and that was the reason why our team struggled before, because outside of the starters, we had nobody. This is the first year that we actually had depth in certain situations. So even our offensive line backup is a little better than they were before. Hey, we don't have Chaz Green anymore, so that's going to be a talk all the time. He's a running gag. You think Lee messed up the defensive chemistry? Well, they used him sparingly. They didn't. They didn't really. They didn't really use him solely because Leighton Van flying around making plays. You said you want Urban Meyer. I like him. You said high coaching job. Well, apparently when he was with the Rams and then when he was with the Lions, he did something with those teams. It wasn't like he was terrible. That's why I said, how do you come here and all of a sudden just don't do nothing? I don't get it. Yes, depth is a huge factor. It is definitely huge. Xavier Sulo-Filo. Yeah, he got poked in the eye. Like, yeah. Now, it had to be a serious poke in the eye that they rushed him to the hospital because that, oh my God. They rushed that man to the hospital. Like, I hope he's okay. You said Sean Lee was chirping in the defense coordinator. He probably was. Yes, and I said that this is the first game we allowed a 100-yard rusher since I think week 2 or week 3. And with numbers like that, it's hard to win. It really is. You want Nick Saban? It's a couple of college coaches I want. Like I like Urban Meyer. I like Nick Saban. I don't think Nick Saban is gonna leave where he's at. I don't think he's gonna do that. But again, Lincoln Riley. If we could get Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma and put him in here as the offensive coordinator, I'll be cool with that. You said you stink Cowboys, but why are you on the stream though? Yeah, of course Lee wanted to play. Lee is a competitor at the same time. That's just what he is. Oh yeah, hey Niall, they definitely gonna be on point next week. You know they are. Because you get punched in the mouth a couple of times. You learn from that. And you look at that as a learning point, and you're just like, I don't want that to happen again. And that ain't gonna happen again. Oh, you're right, man. He ain't leaving Bama. He is not leaving Bama. Hey, Sheila, I said the same thing. Yes, we put up a goose egg, but guess what? Everybody puts up a goose egg from time to time. Name me any NFL team in this league that hasn't got their ass whooped. It's the NFL. It's pros going against pros. You have a bad game. You have a bad week. Guess what? We're human, and the flesh is weak, bruh. It happens. We're not robots. So for you to say that anything is going to be perfect or anybody dropping a goose egg is going to happen. Some teams just drop them more than others. Cowboys don't drop goose eggs like that often. Most of the time when we're playing a team, we're hella competitive. Oh, brethren, you in here too, bruh? Oh, you're one of Mark's trolls. Really, brethren? That's how you do? Bro, you are ridiculous, man. I'm going to tell you right now. I agree with you. Lincoln Riley, if he comes in here, you said Kyler Murray want to follow him. I agree with that. And I'm all for it. Bring him in here. Get a quarterback's coach that can do. Because when Linehan leaves, oh, thank you. Is that the T? Is that the thermal? The thermal? It's T. Oh, okay. Thank you. Because what's going to happen is if Linehan goes, Kellen Moore got to go too. Now I'm gonna have to get off the stream in a minute because I know that Mark getting ready to stream the game, so I don't want to interfere with that. Hey Teflon, you right, bro. Yo, trolls is coming out of the holes tonight, yo. Like, you guys are hilarious, yo. Go back in your hole. The injuries are piling up on the offensive line. That's the last thing I want to say before I end this stream, y'all. I think that we'll be fine. Oh, thank you, Mark Crop. I appreciate it, man. And I do these things because, you guys are amazing. I love the support you guys give me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Dana, we do got injuries and thanks, Ronald. I appreciate that, bro. Well, what I wanted to say was real quick before I end, with the injuries that we have on this team right now, um, again, they're inevitable. There's nothing you can do about that. We just have to do what we need to do. Next man up, get out there and do what we need to do. Make sure we rest those guys. Hopefully, Britt Brown and his training staff will get these guys up and going. They've been doing a good job this year on the injuries and stuff. We haven't had too many crazy injuries. You know, players will leave for a week or two and they'll come back. But outside of Tavon and a few people, we haven't really had, people with detrimental type of injuries. But hopefully Jeff Swain could come back for the playoffs. But they have to get that screw out of his wrist before he can play again because he with a cast on that. I appreciate it, guitar slaying zombie killer. Appreciate it. Yeah. So with that being said, y'all, yes, we lost. Last thing, closing the arguments. Embarrassing game, but all is not lost. We win next week against Tampa Bay. It's a home game. We get the division title and lose tonight. So, Daniel Stevens, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. We control our own destiny. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Nate. We definitely control our own destiny. You cannot and say, hey, I need you to lose or I need you to win. We can say all day that we hope this happens, but at the end of the day, the Cowboys control their own destiny. They control their own fate, and they got to win, period. Yeah, these guys trolling like a mug. But anyway, with that being said, y'all, I'm in this stream. I know those of you guys are gonna jump on to Mark because he's about to stream the game and stuff like that. I appreciate all y'all coming in here, even you damn trolls. It is what it is. So I'm gonna holler at y'all. Next time I'm gonna do a video tomorrow. I'll probably do an update and see what's going on with CeeLo Philo and what we need to do to get ready for this Tampa Bay team next week coming into Dallas. So. With that being said, always, how about them Cowboys? Even though we lost, an embarrassing loss, still ride or die for your team. And that's what true Dallas Cowboy fans do. So with that being said, y'all, it's signing off. You're welcome, Sheila. It's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. I'll talk to y'all next time. Have a great evening.